Well, guys, I got about 5 hours worth of napping, but it's our anniversary dinner, so I'm treating Maddie just like a normal gentleman should, and I'm gonna let her out of her car. Dun, dun, dun. See, guys, this is how it works. If I drive, I always look like a gentleman because the inner door handle doesn't work. So I'm always a gentleman. That's because, if you don't remember, after Crossville, up in Crossville, Tennessee, they come up where we probably had one of the fastest cars on the property, and some idiot accidentally hit a button, so I disabled my scramble button. And the guys from Georgia, the guys with King Turtle and those guys down there, that group, they kind of, I made a very, what I feel was 85-90% chance of getting down the track. And the music over there, guys. Woo, gotta walk away for a second. I felt like I had a pass that was going to be 80 to 90% likely to run the number that I was targeting, and they were probably at like a 30% chance and 30-40% chance of getting down there. But it stuck, and hey, they got us by a bumper. I went to get on the scramble button that should have put 2 cars on them. If I got on it at the 330, and scramble button didn't work. And for those last 2 seconds of that pass, that's probably one of the worst feelings I've ever had, knowing that we had a car that could have went there, and I firmly believe was competitive for running for $177,000. Supposed to be $250,000, but yeah, kind of got split up there. But yeah, so that weekend right there. After that, we had to go find a crankshaft because I hit a bump and knocked the rod out of the damn thing. Car went airborne. So, Maddie's window quit working. Couldn't find a window regulator. So, long story short, that driver's door doesn't open and close no more. We put a zip tie on it, and it stopped working. Ready? Look at it. That's a neon lady if I ever saw her.
Silver bullet.
She glows about as good as you right now, babe.
Oh, yeah?
No concealed weapons. Make sure your pistol skin showed.
I got my tattoo.
Action.
Well, guys, welcome back to the HustlinHorsepower YouTube channel.
That's pretty quiet, babe. You're supposed to talk a little bit louder than that. So,
Welcome back.
Welcome back to the Hustlin' Horsepower YouTube channel. We took a whole whopping 16 hours off.
Not even. You took a little bit of a nap, which doesn't count.
I was including that in my 16 hours.
I know. We didn't take that much time off to do non-race car related activities.
But we're going to.
Don't short me here.
I'm going to try not to, babe. So, guys, yeah. So, last night, well, I went to bed. I was up for 48 hours. Because I was like, you know what? I'm going to get some work done because we're going to take a little break here. So I'm going to put in like a serious day's work. So I worked for like 48 hours. Just not like, sometimes I'm a one-man wrecking ball, like boom, 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 knocking out a whole bunch of things. But like we're at the point on the car where it's just like, I'm just doing some meticulous things, kind of things. Just, final touches, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
So it's just some final touches and some things that don't necessarily need to be done on the car, but
Nothing that impacts testing, nothing that impacts making, like, doing...
Yeah, like some things...
actual racing, like, it's...
Like, I was doing some things on this car that I never did on the homegrown Hustler, simply because of, like, time and stuff like that. But some things that, you could have a car 90% of the way done and have it full functionality, but, like, looks or ease of maintenance or this or that might be a little bit, you know, some things might be a little bit difficult to do. But that's not the purpose of this video. The purpose of this video is, what?
Is this where we talk about our 5 years?
Yeah.
Today's day 2 of year 6.
No, it ain't. It's day 1.
No.
You know. What day is today?
The 7th.
I like it, I guess. No. So then we missed our anniversary?
Yesterday was our anniversary.
Yeah, so today's day 1.
It wasn't day 0 yesterday.
It was the day. So guys, we have been together 5 whole years.
5 completed years.
And almost 1 whole day. Oh my goodness. So, are you gonna do some talking? You do some talking. Can you do some talking in this video?
Yeah, I don't know what you want to talk about.
The 5 years.
The 5 years of banging my head off the wall,
Yeah.
dealing with you?
Yeah.
That just about sums it up, folks. No, we met when you weren't doing race car stuff. You were in between the stretchy truck and working on the Dirty 30, which I didn't have any idea who you were. I didn't have any idea about racing or the stretchy truck. I didn't know about the Dirty 30 at that point. Like, you were probably just working at that point to save money to start building the Dirty 30.
So I was in the lull point kind of deal. So like the Dirty 30. So I bought the Dirty 30, and this is gonna be in a video where we talk about the Dirty 30 and stuff like that. But I bought the Dirty 30, and I lost my job the month before that. About a month before I bought the Dirty 30, and I lost my job because, so it's comical looking back on things. So I was working at a place. I was making like $14 an hour. Not that's like this or that or anything, right? But I was supposed to leave for Hot Rod Magazine's Drag Week on Saturday, I think it was, because registration day is Sunday. So I think I was leaving Saturday morning, and I had my vacation time scheduled
and approved.
And on Thursday, they told me I couldn't go on vacation because my coworker overdosed on. I was a mechanic. My coworker overdosed. I'm not going to talk about that because some kids watch the channel and stuff like that. But my coworker overdosed in the bathroom. Okay, so they said I couldn't go on my vacation no more
Because they were short that guy.
because they were short-staffed now. I said, guys, you approved my vacation, and like I already paid for all this stuff.
What were you taking, or were you crewing for somebody?
I was crewing with Jeff Lutz Jr. that year. The year that we made 30 and Unlimited, and Senior 1 won the deal. Won the whole deal. Yeah. So, they told me...
When we were together? Or you
think-
crewed 2 years in a row for him?
I don't remember, really.
Okay.
Come on now, you can't put me on the spot like that. I've done so much stuff I can't remember every last detail
I
on it.
remember when we were together you went, but it was so early on for me, and I didn't really... Like, I didn't know these people, I wasn't fully involved with racing, so I'm just trying to figure out if it was, like, that time, or if it was not.
I don't really remember.
think...
I think that was the year. But they said I was no longer able
To go on vacation.
to go on vacation. No, it was when I had the stretchy truck still.
Okay. So that was before.
That was before you. So, I was taking the stretchy truck because I did Rocky Mountain Race Week. I had 2 weeks vacation. I took 1 week for Rocky Mountain Race Week and 1 week for Drag Week.
Okay.
So, my
So
coworker overdosed.
You didn't crew.
No, that was the year I brought the stretchy truck. So my coworker overdosed, so on and so forth, right? And I lost my job. So,
Because you still went on vacation.
because I still went on my vacation, because like, I don't think that's even like right to cancel someone's vacation 2 days before they're like, literally like the day before vacation starts. Like Friday at 3:30, my vacation started. So yeah. So I think they gave me like a 24-hour heads up that my vacation was canceled. And I said, well, whatever. Like, I'm going on vacation. And my boss said, okay, you gotta do what you gotta do. And I was like, okay. Like, so yeah. Then I got back that Monday morning and my toolbox was pushed to the side. Whatever. No big deal. So, yeah, getting back to it. So me and Maddy met, and I was working on the Dirty 30 with, like, I put no money into the car for the first, like, 3 months into the build. Like, literally, maybe, like, $200. And that was in, like, sandpaper and some, like, acid and stuff like that, because I went through the whole car and so on and so forth. But that's going to be in a Dirty 30 video when we talk about, like, that whole build. So, long story short, I went out line dancing with some friends and stuff like that. And Maddy comes walking in. Come on, get to talking.
I came walking in. I was minding my own business. And you were trying to get me to come out on the dance floor.
Kind of like the opposite of last night.
Yeah. Yeah, you refused to go out on the dance floor.
No, I didn't refuse. I danced.
This was about as much as he did last night.
About the ducks that you'll see in the upcoming video.
Bobbing his head to the music. You were trying to get me to go out on the dance floor, but it was a couple's dance.
And she was like, who the hell are you? You're ugly.
You were dancing with somebody else.
Probably. Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, you were.
Oh, okay.
Because I was like, you want me to go out there and dance, but it's a couple's dance, and I can't even, like, I'm by myself. It was, like, retarded. That should have been my first red flag.
I'm only good at, like, a couple things in life.
So...
A couple genres, I should not say a couple things. A couple genres of things.
Categories?
Categories, genres, whatever. Chapters.
So... You had been going, though, for a couple weeks.
We used to go every Thursday.
Yeah. Well, Nick
big group of
invited me to a concert a couple weeks
That was
after
August
that.
16th, so this is actually hasn't been 5 years.
It wasn't August 16th.
Yeah. She thinks it was August 6th.
Because you can go back and Google the concert at the location that it was at, and the history will pop up that it was August 6th.
Mm-hmm.
And he drove the stretchy truck there. Didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
Did it break down on the way back? Something happened.
Oh. I don't think so.
No, maybe that was because it was at Lancaster. At the track, the concert. And so another time we were there, the truck broke down, and
It didn't break
that was a
down.
different story.
The freaking drive shaft broke.
I don't know.
I ended up breaking the drive shaft.
That's why your dad had a...
Oh yeah, he tow rode me home in the El Camino. I forgot about that kind of. Because she wouldn't tow rode me home with her pickup truck.
I said we could do it, I just wasn't going to drive it. Because Damien rode with you to the track, so Damien and I took my truck and followed you guys back.
That was catchy. We made it back though.
Yeah.
So, you know what we should talk about? Our first adventure. When we went racing with the Dirty 30.
It's not really the first adventure, but I mean, we could talk about that.
The first time really going racing out of town. Should we talk about that?
Sure.
So, guys, first time we went racing together out of town. Me and Maddy are in my house, my 37-foot motorhome that I bought when I was working out in Arkansas, okay? And, like, it just didn't make sense. Like...
To have an apartment.
Yeah, so I was like 23, 24 years old. 23 when I went out there, something like that. And we had the motorhome. So I got my motorhome, just a cheap one, not like nothing nice. By the way, we're gonna possibly be looking for a motorhome. If we decide to sell if we sell the toter home and the stacker, we're gonna be looking for a motorhome, but like a metal construction motorhome, because like it's gotta last us for a while, and we'll be living in it full time for a little while. So right now we live in our the toter home. I wish you guys could see Sleepy over here dancing.
Hi, Winnie.
Hi,
Come
Winnie.
here. Come here. Come here.
So, she likes me more, I think. So, we will be possibly looking for a motorhome, like, I wish, or a toter home that's a tag style toter. I'd like to have a motorhome that wasn't, the motorhomes are just so damn big that, like, it makes it very difficult for the racing that we do to get into certain tracks that we race at. Some of these tracks are older, like outlaw style tracks. His rabbit is, oh, there we go. Could you believe a Top Fuel crew member drives like a little like a V2 cylinder, like a V-twin freaking Volkswagen? You should see him though, it's pretty funny. He's got his little dog. He's like a hippie dude. He used to be a corporate He used to be a corporate IT guy, but now he's just like a long-haired hippie dude. But yeah, so
We've talked about 3 different things in the matter of maybe 2 minutes.
Okay, whatever. So guys, we're possibly gonna be looking for a metal constructed motorhome that has the ability to tow a trailer or possibly a smaller stacker trailer, just so we have room for all of our merchandise and stuff like that. And so since there's a kid on the way, gives us a little bit more room that Maddy can travel with us, but still be at home.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Yeah.
So like, there's a possibility that the kid's due in December. So of course I'm gonna be a parent and stuff like that. But this is our job right now. So there's a possibility that I'll be traveling solo for like
taking weekend trips here.
Taking weekend trips basically, or possibly leaving the truck and trailer in different areas as we go on. So that'd be like end of December, January, February-ish, March-ish maybe, depending until Maddy's ready to start like traveling again. But if we get a motorhome, then we have absolutely everything we need with us if we have a motorhome. So then we could be traveling with an infant and still have everything that we need with us, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So our first trip, we got my 37-foot Winnebago, the Winnie,
Yeah.
and my 24-foot trailer with the 4-wheeler in it. Oh, this gets bad. This was like bad memories, but it's good memories too. It's memories. The 24-foot, this was like my first no prep race ever, basically.
So if any of you guys, they've held a couple races there since, have been to the airport, Berkeley Springs, yeah.
Berkeley Springs, West Virginia. Like mountains.
Potomac Airport?
Yeah.
Or Air Park or something like that. So we were heading there.
I'm still like...
For our first no prep race, we had the Dirty 30.
Mm-hmm.
I was green as green could be with figuring out anything to do with the racing and what, you know, I didn't have solid responsibilities because I was still learning everything.
I was still basically doing everything myself.
Yeah.
Which, like, I'm kind of... I don't want to say I'm one of the best at that. But, like, some people, like, for example, like when I raced at, with the Homegrown Hustler, we raced War in the Woods. And I went out there by myself because you had something else going on. I forgot what it was. But I raced War in the Woods by myself. And some people were just like, we got a lot of messages, like, commenting about, like, how efficient I can be when I'm doing everything myself. Because that's the one advantage of doing everything, like, building your own car and, like, doing everything about it, right? You know everything about the car. So, like, I could do a routine, and I could do it extremely efficiently and not miss a damn thing if I'm doing, like, everything myself. Well, we've been doing this stuff together for 5 whole years now, and me and Maddy got a pretty good routine going. But she was as green could get going into this race. So we head out there. We leave at like where do we leave? Like 4 o'clock in the morning, or we drive all night? I think we drove all night.
I don't remember any of that.
I think I worked all day. Then we left at like 8 o'clock at night or whatever. So we get there, and we kind of suck. Okay, I thought these guys were going a whole lot faster than they were, and they weren't. So I put a tune-up to go about as fast as we went out there with the Homegrown Hustler, and the Dirty 30 wasn't the Homegrown Hustler chassis. So,
it was kind of funny, like, so Nick ended up doing a burnout the whole 8th mile.
Mm-hmm.
How much?
Not much at all. The last 150 feet, I probably closed up 2.5 car lengths or something like that. I lost by like not much because we were running a big tire because we had a 29 on the car because like I didn't have money to go buy 28s.
So, so you did a burnout like the whole length of the track,
Mm-hmm.
and they were pissed. They kicked us out. They were like, "You're done. You can't do. You know, you can't be here anymore. You're not allowed to run here anymore."
It was dead straight the whole freaking way. Like it wasn't a pass that was going like this way or this way or this way. That was just like.
If you want to see, they actually used that. They had drone footage of that pass, and they used it. All right, we back on?
We're back on.
Okay. So as we were saying, If you want to see the pass that we were talking about, where Nick's doing the 8th mile burnout down the track, they kicked us out, like I said, but they ended up using drone footage in their video, opening scene of their YouTube video, like promoting that race or doing just
promoting like the second race there or whatever. So that was our first ever no prep race. Well, we leave there because I was like, you know what, like I feel like we could try to go at least like 5 teams with this car. We've already went like we're already in the low 30s or something like that with it. I think I went 530s or something like that with it, and this was just on gasoline before the car was on methanol. I was like, you know what, I think we go 5 teams with this car because I made couple little changes, and we're like, let's haul butt to Keystone Raceway Park in Pittsburgh. So we're hauling butt there. Some of our friends were racing there and stuff like that, and a friend of ours that was racing there that lived in Pittsburgh, they lost first round. The cheat checks. Yeah. So some friends of ours, they lost first round, I believe, and because they were in small tire, we were in big tire on a 29, on a medium tire. But those are the tires we had, so we raced a big tire. Well, we lost first or second round by not much, and because it blew the tires off the thing. So we were hauling butt to Keystone, and there was like multiple ways to get there, and the GPS is like, you go this way, it's a half hour sooner. Well, we get to a point, and it said, no vehicles over X amount of size.
Well, before we even get there, we had chosen this other route.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And we were going through we were going through some of the mountains that were like, you know,
and it said
just ridiculously high. We were going like 10 miles an hour uphill because the motorhome wouldn't pull the trailer.
We're in first gear. So I had a Vortec 454 and a 4L80 trans. So they're pretty bulletproof, but you also have to use your brakes to slow it down. So we're getting there. So we see a sign that says, turn around if you're over this size. One problem, there's no area to turn around.
Yeah.
So we kept on driving because, like, what else do you do? So we're driving and we're driving and driving, and if you're from that area, we ended up passing what was the 9/11 Memorial, where flight, whatever flight number that was, I'm drawing a blank right now. I should probably remember that, but the flight where the passengers took over and it crashed in East Bumbutt, Pennsylvania, in the middle of freaking nowhere. So that's where we're driving.
We were in the mountains of Ligonier,
Pennsylvania. Okay, right
and
where.
Not far from there is where the
Right,
the 9/11 crash.
I visually remember passing a sign that said the memorial was just down the street here, and we're like in the middle of nowhere. So I wouldn't recommend going to visit that place if you have a big motorhome. At least not taking the route that we took. So now it's getting like dark out and stuff like that. It's like right at sunset, and we're trying to come down. We're not super far away, like maybe an hour and a half or 2 hours from the track or something like that. And we're coming down, and I feel the brakes starting to get warm, and like I knew they were warm, so like I had the thing in first gear right from the beginning to try to use the engine to slow the thing down. Now it's not a diesel, it's not like the school bus, it's not like the Toterhome where it's got an actual engine brake on it, but if you put it in first gear, the engine could only go so fast in first gear. So I got it in first gear, going down the hills and stuff like that, and we got to a point where like we're losing brakes. So I wonder if we still have it. We should have this for the video somewhere. But so we had 3 4x4 blocks, 4x4 piece of wood that were nailed together, kind of in a teepee or in like a triangle, so that we could raise up the jack of the trailer, because the trailer jack to the ground was a big space. So we had 12 inches of 4x4 blocks stacked up in a pyramid so we could jack the trailer up. Those I kept inside the motorhome, just inside the door there. So it was a gas motorhome. So gas motorhomes have the door on the side. Diesel motorhomes have the door in the front. So we're getting to a point where like I'm losing brakes. I was like, Maddy, your dad doesn't know the story. Hopefully your dad doesn't see the video. So he'll like me even more. So I said, Maddy, I'm gonna drive this thing, but like my theory is like, at least if something bad happens, she's at least not in the motorhome. If something bad happens, or B, I'd rather be steering this thing. So
we're coming down a hill. steadily losing brakes. And at the bottom of the hill, there's like a 90-degree bend.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't know what's beyond that. We don't know if there's more decline,
Mm-hmm.
or if it levels out, or if it goes back uphill. Like, we have no idea what is behind that.
And there's a runoff a quarter mile up. Quarter mile up?
Yeah.
I think it's at one of those runoffs that semis and stuff go into. I think it was a quarter mile
like
up.
The sand.
Like a sand deal. But honestly, I didn't have a credit card big enough.
You didn't
Or
have
enough
one at all.
I probably didn't even have a credit card
You
at all.
didn't have a credit card at all.
Okay, I didn't even have a credit card at all. But my bank account didn't have enough money in it to pull my motorhome and my trailer out of the sand pit. So, we got it down to about not, like literally full brakes. And like we're going like 5 miles an hour still. Something like that. 5-10 miles an hour. And Maddy jumps out of the motorhome.
He tells me, he's like, grab those blocks, open the door, jump out the side, and throw it under the duals of the motorhome.
I said, I'm gonna straighten this thing out, and you're gonna throw it underneath the duals of the motorhome, and we're gonna try to like chuck the tire while we're in motion. I said, worst of worst, like, we're gonna try to chuck it up in the rear duals, or if not, maybe we could get it on the trailer tires. Like, I'll watch and maybe and see if we can get it. So she jumps out. You should act this out, because it'll be funny.
No.
You're not gonna act it out?
No.
So she jumps out of the door, okay? I'm not watching her, but I could only imagine. So she jumps out the door of the motorhome and grabs this block of wood and shoves it underneath the duals. And I'm in the driver's seat and things like, boom, 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 boom. I was just praying. I was like, just catch, just catch, just catch. Well, luckily, these wheels get stuck in, or the piece of wood gets stuck in the duals, okay? So.
And we stop.
So, we're gonna have to add up the piece in here that says, like, if you want to see a funny story, skip to like 17 minutes into the video, because this is comical, okay? So, yeah. So we get the motorhome stopped, just past the bend, and we're sitting there. Well,
It was just before the bend.
just before the bend, maybe just before the bend, whatever it is. But we stopped the thing without crashing, without this or that. So it was like 100 degrees out there at that airport. Not really, but it was hotter than heck. So we didn't have much water left. But I get all my water and I start throwing it on the brakes and stuff like that, right? Cooling everything down, so on and so forth. Well, we ran out of water, so we had some Gatorade and I threw some Gatorade on there. And then I had water in my fuel cell in the Dirty 30 for weight bias. And I'm in the trailer emptying out water when the flashing lights come up.
At this point, it's dark.
It is dark.
And
We're in the middle of nowhere.
Red and blue lights are flashing.
Yeah.
It's like pitch black dark.
When I say pitch black, like, we're in the mountains, so like nothing. Like, we haven't seen like a house or nothing like that in miles.
There's no businesses, there's no houses, there's no like
Nothing.
driveways, there's nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So we see the flashing lights as we're getting ready to like get out of the trailer because we had just filled our empty bottles up. And there's a police officer. He's like, "What are you guys doing?"
He said, "You know you're not supposed to be here, right?" I said, "Sir, I'm well aware." I said, "But are you aware that right where that sign is, there's no possible area to turn around past that?" He said, "I understand." So I tried to bribe him with some merchandise and stuff like that. He said, "I can't accept nothing." I said, "Just give me your personal address or something like that, or just like, I'll send a gift to you." He said, "I can't do that." So that officer, if you ever see this video, if we ever become YouTube superstars and you go back and see this video, we appreciate it, sir. He didn't charge us no ticket or nothing like that, and he sat there for a little while. He said, you think you got this handled?" I said, "Yeah, we should be good. Like, I got brake fluid in the trailer, and like I got everything to like cool this thing down, and then like go another couple miles once like I get everything done cool to the touch."
And he told us that after that bend was a little town. It leveled out.
He said,
There's
"You're
a
only,"
little town.
he's like, "You're only a half a mile away from like town," which is like, thank God, because like if we didn't stop there, we would have to go into the sand pit, because if we weren't going in the sand pit, then we're bombing through town at 30 miles an hour with no way to stop. So that was we made the right decision.
Yeah.
So I don't know about the best decision, but we made the right decision in hindsight. So yeah. So the officer leaves, and this is where the story gets good, guys. You want to tell the story from here?
So the officer leaves, and we're doing our thing, cooling down the brakes.
Draining the water out of out of the back of the car.
Yeah.
Like cooling the brakes down, cooling everything down, making sure everything's nice and cool to the touch.
And there's this guy that has no shoes on.
Short shorts, like up to
jean shorts.
Not ripped, they're cutoffs. I'm pretty sure they're cutoffs. Like to the point where like his underwears were past his like shorts.
Yeah.
No shirt on. Older gentleman.
He comes out of the woods.
I mean, well, we haven't passed a house or nothing or a light, like nothing in miles.
He's like, "What are you guys doing?" And we're like, "Well, trying to, we got to get back on the road, pulling down the brakes, whatever." And he was like,
"What are you guys doing here?"
Yeah.
I was like,
he's like, I was in the woods hunting mushrooms, and I noticed the flashing lights, and so he wanted to come see what was going on.
So I guess he was hiding in the woods while the flashing lights were there, and then when the flashing lights left, he popped out of the woods and came to talk to us. So this guy ended up being like really like a pretty genuine guy, but we're in the middle of freaking nowhere, and like if there's one guy there might be two. So I go and get my backpack. I get all like the big water bottles as I can get in the freaking backpack, and the guy's like, "I know where a spring is to get you some more water." So we lock all the doors on the motorhome. Maddy sits on the couch with my little friend, and I said, "You just sit here." I said, "And do what you gotta do." And I go in the back of the motorhome where my big friggin' tire iron is, and I put pants on, okay? And I have the big old tire iron, like a breaker bar, shoved in my pants. So I'm walking like a peg leg, right? Like probably a mile back into the woods with this guy to go get some water. And we make this trip a couple times. And like, I don't remember the conversation. And like, if we videoed all this stuff, we'd be YouTube superstars already. But this was freaking comical. So we go back there and we get the...
You guys go and you get water.
And we cool the brakes down. And he was telling me how like he's hunting mushrooms because some mushrooms he sells to the local restaurants.
Yeah.
And then the other mushrooms were for
recreational
personal use. I was like, oh my goodness, like what am I getting myself into here? So it was all ended up being all good. Our friends that were racing a couple hours away offered to come get the motorhome and the trailer and tow it off off the road. I said, guys, there's no way, like, I don't know if there's a way to possibly do this because, like, we're on a hill. Like, if you unhook the trailer, it's probably gonna start rolling down the mountain, and then, like, if you're not connected to the trailer no more, like, you're in deep problems. So we'd almost, like, we'd have to figure out something where you, like, chain it up to a truck off the back and then hook up, like, I said, guys, like, I got it stopped here, like, we're just gonna wait until everything cools down. So we get everything cooled down. Mushroom Man takes off, and then we go down, and there's a little gun store down at the bottom of the hill. So we pull in there because it's probably about midnight or something like that at this point. And we get down there, and we're just gonna spend the night there. So we sleep there, and
missed the race. Our 30-minute detour that was supposed to be saved ended up costing us the rest of the night.
Probably 10 hours, 12 hours. So I was like, we'll just sleep here, and there's no real area. We can't figure out an area because like the cell phone service is in and out. Like we don't know of a Walmart nearby to park this thing, so we'll just like, there's a parking lot big enough, and it was going in to be Sunday morning. I was like, most businesses in this area aren't open on Sundays anyways. We'll just sleep here till 8 o'clock in the morning, then just drive the 4 hours, 5 hours back home. So we wake up to a guy like with his hand on his gun, like yelling at us, beating on the motorhome, asking us why we're in his parking lot. And I don't even think we talked to him. I think I just started up the motorhome and drove off. Like I was like
angry.
I was just like, I had full intentions of going in there and spending $100 or something like that on stuff just as a
supporting local business.
Just to support the local business for us parking there, right? So whatever. So we start driving, and we get about an hour away from home. And we have a tire blowout on the motorhome. So we pull all the way off to the side of the road.
Inches away from the guardrail.
Like inches away from the guardrail. And I walk out the motorhome, same motorhome that Maddy jumped out of to save the day. I crawl underneath the motorhome, check it out. I'm walking down the guardrail, And as soon as I step in the motorhome, kaboom! We got hit by a 40-foot box truck at like 75 miles an hour. He came over into the white line and drilled the hell out of us. And we're not gonna go into too much detail, but insurance absolutely screwed us on that deal. Because this guy went through, was over the white line, hit us while we were parked with triangles and flashers out, and he had a floating insurance policy. He worked for a big company, but that company
Hires guys that are like contracted.
that hires contracted drivers. So that company loses a lot of their responsibility,
they're not
their
liable.
liability. So we got $9,000. He totaled our trailer, broke the transmission in the car, put my four-wheeler through the front of the trailer. That was strapped down, like everything was strapped down. But it moved the car so hard that like it just like and fractured the gear set in the transmission, which ended up I didn't know it was fractured. So the next day we go to the track, first release the transfer, it just boom explodes. Broke the straps on the trailer, broke the straps on the four-wheeler, put the four-wheeler on the trailer, and moved the whole motorhome. That was like one tire was completely flat, like 24-foot trailer, everything parked. It pushed the motorhome and trailer probably 10-12 feet. Like I was 30 seconds of getting ran over and killed, and smashes us into the bridge. And insurance gave us $10,000. Totaled the motorhome.
Yeah, because the guy was driving. He had a co-pilot or like a co-driver. They were coming from Florida, and they had just crossed into the New York State line. We weren't far from home, and they have floating insurance. So the New York State minimum for the floating insurance was $10,000, and we had a fight.
I had to fight tooth and nail to get that $10,000.
Yeah.
They said my trailer was worth like $3,000. That was a fully loaded, like, nice trailer.
Yeah, finished interior.
Finished interior, like it wasn't wood inside. It was all like finished interior, and like it was nice. It was like I got a good deal on it. Don't get me wrong, but like they were trying to give me $3,000 for a trailer that was worth like $10,000 itself.
Yeah.
Let alone the four-wheeler and the car. I mean, it was a $2,000 gear set in the transmission. I think that fractured, and then the motorhome got like destroyed. The whole front of it, junk. But Mike Brooks from Gasoline Images came over and helped us get some tools and stuff like that to help get the tire off and whatever, and helped us swap the tire on the side of the road. And yeah, that was our first trip ever together.
Yep. With you racing.
But after that, guys, we had a pretty good string of a lot of fun, like a lot of good memories.
Yeah.
Like that was like in racing, right? Like it's racing. Unfortunate things happen, right? Parts break, this, that, everything else. Like that incident right there was pretty bad. Luckily, a good friend of ours let me borrow his pickup truck, and I took $5,000 that I got from insurance money, and then he said, "Hey, interest free, just give me $5,000 down on the truck, and then pay it off." I said, "Like you don't understand. Like we got like at the time we had like active sponsors. Like we have some people that help us out with parts and stuff like that, but we had active sponsors and stuff like that with the Dirty 30, where we made commitments to go to certain races." And I said, "Like, dude, like we have to make these races. Like, I don't want to take your truck and then like only be able to give you $200 this month towards the truck, but you see us out spending $500 on fuel money and stuff like that to go to these races." He said, "No, like I totally understand your position. Like I'm just helping you guys out with the kindness of my heart, and like I appreciate the hell out of that." And
they're good people. Their families are awesome.
They're great people.
And they're fellow racers, so they understand, like,
So
they know what it takes to get out racing and stuff like that. But
I told him, I said, it might be a year or so until I could, like, pay off this truck. And he said, like...
And there was...
I said there might be a time where, like, I make a quick buck. I make $1,000 or, like, we win a little bit of money with the car. I said, if I win some money, like, at that point, like, I was working a ridiculous amount of overtime and stuff like that. So, like, a winnings was just winnings. Like, it was money that, like, we were going to go racing either way, whether we won or whether we lost, because we enjoyed the hell out of it. And, like, I could work enough overtime to pay for it. So, if we won, like, hell, we could throw in $500 for, like,
Give them some extra money.
Give us some extra money that's winning through. So
yeah,
that's how we did it, and they were very understandable about it, and like they were awesome about it. So they bailed us out huge, and then should we continue this on? Should we tell them about the trailer that we had to go buy?
If you want.
All right, guys, we're gonna add this part of the story real quick. So we didn't have a trailer no more. And we didn't have a motorhome, right? We had no truck and trailer, and we were supposed to be like racing still. Like this was like early springtime, and it's like we're up in New York, so like the Virginia deal happened in like maybe March or something like that, early April. Like our normal racing didn't start for another couple weeks, but like we needed to find a trailer. So I worked third shift, right? And I checked Marketplace and stuff like that all over the place, and Craigslist, and I found a trailer that was 1 year old. And I got a killer deal on it, like an absolute killer deal on it. But it was a traveling nurse that, or a nurse that was going to go become a traveling nurse, and he had this brand new trailer that he just didn't need no more. And
all he did was park it in his. He had it delivered to his house.
He parked it
in his driveway, and he put kayaks in it and a Jeep. That
and his Jeep project that but that's all like.
Yeah.
The door wasn't open more than 5 times. They put kayaks in the side door and his Jeep in the back, and it sat there for a year and a half or something like that, just parked in his driveway.
Yeah.
And I saw that he posted just like a half hour before, and I'm on my lunch break on an overtime shift at like 2 o'clock in the morning. So I messaged him, and I was working overtime till 2 o'clock in the morning, I was working from 11:30 to 7, and then from 7 to 3:30. So, I told him, like, I get off of work at 3:30. He's like, what, an hour? I said, no, in like 13 hours I get off of work. He's like, I said, we could head out there. I said, we're from New York, but like, we could be down in Kentucky like 8 hours after that. So this was Friday going into Saturday or something like that?
Yeah, because my dad bought tickets to the movie.
This was Thursday night going into Friday that I messaged them.
Yeah.
Because we drove all night Friday. Yeah. So I said, we could be back there at this time. And so I made the deal. And Maddy's dad bought tickets to go
to the IMAX movie theater.
Yeah, 3D. Was it 3D or something like that?
No, because I can't do 3D. It was IMAX, which just is like different speakers.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Like a really like nice movie, yeah. Right? Very nice movie. I watched the whole thing. No, so I told him, I said, hey, I could come down with the money, and I said, what's it gonna take if I come there? We could be there 6 o'clock in the morning, Saturday morning. And he said, 6 o'clock in the morning? I said, yeah, we're supposed to be at a movie back in New York at like 3:30. So he's like, I guess I could wake up early. I said, okay, I'm coming down with cash. Like, we'll be there. So we didn't have a truck yet. We didn't pick up the truck yet. So I borrowed my uncle's truck, just a 1500 Silverado, and this was a big 36-foot trailer, right? So we haul butt down there. And we sleep in a Dollar General parking lot for like a half hour.
38 minutes, probably, yeah.
Like 38 minutes, okay? Because we got down there at like 5:30. And I made sure the truck was filled with gas and everything like that before we picked up the trailer. Because, like, literally, we don't have time to make it back in time for the movie. So, we're down in Kentucky at 6 o'clock in the morning, and we buy this trailer. Like, no joke. Bought this trailer. And we had the deal done by like 6:30 in the morning. Like, the sun was still rising. Like, I looked underneath the trailer real quick. I was like, this thing's brand new. I was like, this guy ain't lying. I opened up the side door. I was like, good. I was like, does it got a spare tire? Good. Like, we're good to go. So we gave him the money, took the title, and hooked it up to the truck, and we started hauling butt. Okay.
We're back after that short commercial break.
So, guys.
Just kidding.
We'll put that at the end of the video maybe for a little bloopers. So then we go and get we leave Kentucky at like 6:30 in the morning after going through everything, and we were hauling butt back to New York. Well, we're trying to haul butt. My uncle's 1500 doesn't want to haul the 36-foot trailer. Empty. So we're just like taking it kind of easy.
Oh, and that's where we had left off. My dad called, and he's on his way to the movie theater, which is about a 35-40 minute drive.
For him.
Yeah, and he's like, hey, I'm on my way. And meanwhile, we're still like not even out of Pennsylvania into New York.
No, we were still in like just north of Pittsburgh, I think.
No, I think we were just like in
Erie
maybe. Yeah.
I don't even think we were in Erie. I wish we could go back and track our calls. But he's like, I'm just getting close to the movie theater, and
he's like, I'm out, he was on his way. He's like, I'm gonna, I want to get there early, make sure we get, our popcorn, have time for that, drinks, candy, get good seats, because I think it was before they like had
reserve seats and stuff like that.
And of course, then at the beginning of every movie, there's not the credits,
yeah,
previews.
The previews.
So like we had a little bit of time.
Not much. So
not
we're hauling butt, right? We're going as fast as we can. Not like speeding, but we're going like as fast as we can, which was probably like 65, 70 in a 65. So we're getting there, and he calls us again, and we're just getting to the toll booths or something like that.
In Cheektowaga?
Yeah. Or your brother called or something like that.
Yeah, and they're like, "Hey, we just want to let you know, like, we got seats. We're, let us know when you get close." I'm like,
no,
yeah.
they asked us what drink we wanted.
Oh, I don't
Right?
remember.
I think they asked us what drink we wanted to have. So like, we're like, we told her dad like an hour and a half or hour previously to this that we're on our way, right? And we weren't in New York. I can't exactly tell you where we were, but we weren't even in New York yet. Okay? So we get there, and we park the truck and trailer, and we
the
go.
only place to park it is behind the building because there's nowhere long enough.
Because we're like 60 feet long with the truck, the crew cab truck, and then the 40-foot trailer.
Yeah, I guess.
And we're like 60 feet long, right? So we park and we go in for the movie, and
we get there as like the end of the last preview is playing.
we literally there wasn't 2 minutes to spare from the time that the what's it called?
The time we left Kentucky to the time we pulled into the movie.
There wasn't 2 minutes to spare. So
my dad had to meet us out at the door because he already had our tickets.
Yeah.
Yeah, we made it. We cut it close on time.
Then we walk out of there, and we leave the movie, and that's where we had to like tell him the truth, right? He asked us, he's like, "Where'd you park?" We're out back, and he sees like the new trailer and the truck, and he's like, "Where'd you guys come from?"
He's like, "That's you guys?" I'm like, "Yeah." Yeah, where'd you come from?
He's like, "Why'd you have the trailer?" I was like, "We just bought it." "Where'd you get it from?"
Kentucky.
"Then why didn't you drop it off at home?" "We haven't been home yet." So yeah, so there was that.
That's when you tried going around the back of the building and there wasn't a way to go like all the way around.
Oh yeah,
you had to back the whole thing up.
I had to back up the truck and trailer like literally a half a mile around this freaking big old movie theater, because this movie theater only had like a one-way deal, and you couldn't come back out around the backside.
Yeah.
And there's no way to turn around, so like I literally had to back up like a half mile around this freaking building. Yep. So that was one adventure. Should we touch on the friggin' there's too many. Should we talk about when we shot down to Memphis to help out Jeff Lutz?
Oh, on our way back?
Yeah. So we go down to Outlaw Streetcar Reunion to help out Jeff Lutz. Those guys, I've known those guys for quite a while now. I met them on Drag Week back in 2013, and we spent some time with them. I spent quite a bit of time with them.
Yeah.
So we're leaving Outlaw Streetcar Reunion in Memphis. Well, the night before they hurt the motor, so
we had planned on going out on Beale Street and all that.
yeah.
We did.
We went out. We did go out on Beale Street the night before we hurt the motor.
Yeah.
With what's his name from Speed Society that passed away last year with cancer?
Starts with a K.
Yeah, Christian.
Yeah.
But Christian with a K.
Yeah.
Nyberger.
Mm-hmm.
Worked with Speed Society. That's one of the best dudes. Like, we only met him a few times, or like hung out with him a few times. But that dude was a dang good dude.
Yeah.
Like, talking about like a holy hearted type of guy. Like, freaking awesome. But yeah, we went out on Beale Street. Like, that was like maybe Thursday night we went out with him.
Yeah.
Friday night. Saturday night we hurt the motor.
Yeah, so maybe we went out Friday.
Yeah, maybe.
Saturday hurt the motor.
We rebuilt the motor in the trailer. They went out and friggin' found a guy to polish up the crankshaft and stuff like that. And I went and threw a new piston in it and stuff like that, and we got all that sorted out. And I was like, "Jeff, how are we gonna set the end play on this thing?" And he's like, "Don't worry about that right now." Well, we flipped the motor over, and boom! It kind of hits kind of hard. Remember when we were tipping the motor over because we didn't have an engine stand? We were rebuilding it right in the trailer, and the crankshaft like kind of hit kind of hard. And he's like, "Nick, I think we got our end plate. Well, so I was like, whatever. I was like, we'll roll with it. And we went out there and we went like 380, 385 or something like that. And that was pretty cool. So I was like, Maddy, like, we're doing good. And I think we made it to like the semifinals or something like that. It was the only time Mad Max was on radials. And I was like, when we lose, like, we got to hold back to make it to New York.
But
so
Jeff kept winning rounds.
He kept on winning. So, like, we're watching our phones and it's like, well, your ETA is like 8 o'clock. It's like, I got to be punching to work at 8 o'clock. So, meanwhile, we leave. And I want to say we are 30 minutes past. I think my ETA was 30 minutes past the time I was supposed to be at work. So we were literally timing our breaks. This was early on. This was like 2016 or something like that. Like our first year together.
Yeah.
We were timing our breaks or our fuel stops for when she had to go to the bathroom or I had to go to the bathroom. So like she'd either go to the bathroom this fuel stop and I'd go to the bathroom the next stop, right? Well, Memphis, Tennessee to Buffalo, New York was a long freaking ride. And in the last from the toll booths from New York, Pennsylvania border to New York, we probably changed drivers 15 times because we were both falling asleep. And we literally would drive like 5 miles, 10 miles, and then the next person would get in the driver's seat and drive. And she dropped me off at work at
it got to the point where we were in Buffalo, like
right 10 miles away from work.
No, we were right about where my mom lived,
Mm-hmm.
which is Hamburg area.
Probably 10, 15 miles away from work.
I think it's longer than that.
I don't think so.
Anyways, I called my mom because at this point it was like 6:30 or 7 o'clock in the morning or whatever it was. And I called my mom because
I was working 7 to 3:30.
I think you were. I called my mom because I knew she'd be up and I was so exhausted and I was like, I just need somebody to talk to so I can get Nick to work. I was like, we're so close, but we've been up and driving. And so my mom sat on the phone with me talking about literally anything and everything just to like help keep me up so I can get Nick to work on time.
So we get there, okay, and I punch in, and like I literally punched in at like I want to say it was 6:59.
Yeah,
I think I had to work at 7 to 3:30. I literally think we punched in at 6:59, and my boss was like, "Long weekend?" I said, "Boss man," and meanwhile like I still got like engine assembly oil on my hands and stuff like that. Like I'm still like somewhat dirty because like we literally were like built the motor all night, got the motor back in the car, and like it was raining out, so no one knew we hurt the motor because like we got the motor out of it, put the front end back on the car, and got the motor in the trailer and rebuilt it.
That was part of the thing is there was a huge rain delay, so it pushed everything back.
Yeah.
But that's how we were able to like get the motor right.
And I think he lost in the semifinals. I think he lost the semifinals. And we did. I don't even think we went back to the trailer and like we literally left the staging lanes, jumped in the car and left because like we didn't have time to like talk to them after they got back from the run and stuff like that. So that was another adventure.
I went back to his mom's house and slept until he had to get picked up from work, and then I went and picked him up from work because that was during my like between semesters in college, so I didn't have anything going on.
So that's and guys, that's just that's year one. So and that's not even close to like
it's like scratching the surface.
Scratch of the surface. Should we do a 5-part series?
Maybe. Because this one's long. It's gonna be pretty long. But yeah, we've got a lot that we can share. Like,
we didn't scratch the surface of year one.
Yeah.
So guys, with all that being said, there's a possibility we'll be looking for a motor home. We got the toter home. That's what we live in right now. But it's literally like, you could sleep 5 people in it, but it's literally only got like one bed in it. And like, we got a little one on the way. And like, we have full intention to keep on doing this stuff. And people are like, oh my goodness, you're not going to be able to do this with a kid, blah, 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 blah. And don't get me wrong.
There's going to be challenges.
A normal person would have those challenges, but like, they're just challenges. Like, they're not like, a guy commented on the YouTube stuff earlier today. He says like, why don't you quit? He says, it seems like this stuff's difficult. Why don't you just quit? Well, you know what? That'd probably be very freaking easy, but there's also no reward in that, right? Like, none. And for us, like, although we're not rich, and although we're not, like, we don't have, like, new cars and this and that, we don't really care about all that stuff that much. Like, the whole reason for doing this journey as we're doing it is because, like, A, with my medical issues and stuff like that, like, we might not be able to do this stuff in a couple of years. So we're going to do it, like, as far as we can go. And, like, with all that being said, like, you know, like, some people think we're YouTube millionaires. Like, no joke. We'll go to the track and people are like, oh, it must be nice to have a toter home and a stacker. And it's like, I'm here thinking, like, it must be nice to have a friggin' something more than a $30,000 house that you live in, right? Because, like, or it must be nice to drive that $100,000 truck. Like, not something that, like, I'd actually, like, think or say, but, like, the person's coming out here, like, saying, like, oh, it must be nice. Well, they get out of a $75,000 car. It's like, you understand you have more money in your car than you do in, like, our house. In our house, right? Like, kind of thing, like, it just, like, stuff different, like, some of that stuff just doesn't make sense. But at the same time, like, we're simple people. We don't need to have all that fancy stuff. And one day, if we had, like, don't get me wrong, if we had it, we'd appreciate it. But at the same time, like, memories,
it's not our priority.
Memories and stuff like that.
Whether I drive that Honda Accord or, you know, it's a 2005 Honda Accord
With 250,000 miles on it?
Yeah, whether I drive that or whether I drive, even if it was another Honda Accord, brand new, fully loaded, like, what I am doing in my life is not going to change based on the vehicle that I drive.
Unless you got a friggin' $1,000 a month car payment.
Well, yeah, that's going to be the change, but, like, how I feel and what I do on a daily basis, like, people want nice things.
Just to have them.
Just to have them, because on the outside, people think that, like, it makes, I don't know, they want it for validation on outside people, if that makes sense.
No, I'd agree with that. Like, for us, like, we do this stuff because we love it, right? And we're willing to make those sacrifices to be able to do the stuff we love. Like, could I quit racing and drive a brand new truck? Yeah, probably. But, like, I don't care about driving a new truck. Like, where are we going to take that truck to? Like, to go to a race and spectate? Like, that's not, like, that's not what we want to do. And we are, like, we greatly appreciate the people that do come out and spectate at the races and stuff like that. But, like,
well, at that point,
everyone has their own,
the thing that makes them happy.
And, like, don't get me wrong, like, you're like, if someone goes out and just comes out to the race to spectate, they probably don't have, like, their roller coaster of life's probably like this. Woo! Well, ours is more like, woo!
Not necessarily. I mean, they could have something different that gives them that roller coaster, like.
Yeah, everyone has their fix. Everyone has their drug. Everyone has their, like, everyone has this or that.
Good days, their bad days, like, whatever.
Like,
you know, their problems, their.
Like, the other day, I worked 48 hours straight. And that's simply because, like, determination and, like, you know, like, willingness to put in the effort to get the result, right? And everyone has their own fix that would give them their drive to try to achieve something bigger. And some people, I don't hang around those people a whole lot because I'm a little screwed up. But some people are perfectly okay with, at 4:30 or 3:30 when they get off work, they want to go home and have a beer and relax the rest of the day. And, like,
some people enjoy,
and that's perfectly fine. And, like, I am jealous of that to a certain point, and some of those people might be jealous that we get to travel and stuff like that. But at the same time, you can't do both. Like, you can't be the type of person that goes out and sits at home and drinks a beer and, like,
or goes to the bar every weekend, or you know, once a week or whatever.
You can't be that person. You can't be that person and do this at the same time. It's two different things. You'd literally have to be, like,
you'd have to have an unlimited amount.
You'd have to have an unlimited budget to be able to have that type of, I don't want to say lack of a work ethic, but, like, without wanting to go that extra mile, you can't go the other mile unless you put in the extra mile worth of work.
Yeah.
So there's nothing wrong with those type of people, and, like, there's, to a certain way, I commend those people. Like, the simple man, like, that must be nice sometimes. And, like, Don't get me wrong, it's nice to get a break every once in a while. Like, even just that like little break that we took last night to go out there and just hang out and chill out a little bit and meet that lady that we met. Like, that was nice and relaxing and stuff like that. But at the same time, when I got back, don't get me wrong, I had a big urge to come into the garage and like get my day's worth of work done. I didn't. We went back and we spent the night and just slept and stuff like that and got like a normal night's rest. But like, I had the urge of like when we got back to lay down with 2 hours until she fell asleep and then come into the garage and like get my job done. I didn't because like,
you also gotta sleep, take care of yourself.
Yeah.
You were up for a long time and you napped a little bit before we left, but it was only
5 hours or something like that.
Yeah.
5-6 hours. So, yeah. So that's year one. Ish. But if you guys, now I'm not saying someone that's selling a motorhome today, that you need to sell it today. If you need to sell it today, well, there's a possibility we can make something happen. But, ideally, like if someone's selling a diesel pusher motorhome, or a budget-friendly toter home that's a tag style that has enough room, like something that has a rear bedroom in it as well. I'd really like a motorhome, but I don't know how difficult it'd be to get into some of these racetracks with a motorhome. With the amount of merchandise and stuff like that we have to carry with us.
Yeah.
Like we'd have to have at least a 30-foot trailer, and with a 40-foot motorhome, like
Making the certain turn. The one turn that I always go back to is getting into the airport at Berkeley Springs.
that's tight.
That same track we were talking about earlier, where Nick did the 8th mile of burnout. Getting into that track.
We took the toter home and the stacker back there, and like I literally got inches, like 2 inches aside, and like you have to hit that like perfectly to get in there.
Yeah, and then you're driving through the cornfield and you gotta go over this rickety bridge and like, I don't know, that's probably one of the sketchiest entrances. Like, it's not at all made for a big rig. It's made for somebody who's driving a regular pickup truck and a trailer to get into.
Yeah. It's not designed for like a semi-based vehicle.
Or a long motorhome with a trailer. Like, people do it, but it's definitely tight. So.
Yeah. So guys, I appreciate everyone that listens, subscribes, and follows and supports in any way, shape, or form. I think we're gonna add in a little thing. To those people that go above and extra to support this journey, I want to set up a deal where we set up the that we could get their email address or whatever, so we could send out like a thank you gift, like of some sort to those type of people.
Yeah.
That want to go through and support this journey, or when we get the little one and stuff like that, if they want to send them like a T-shirt or something like that, right, or something like that. I'd like to be able to go through and whether it's like we write a handwritten letter or send them some type of like thank you gift to those people that go above and beyond, besides simply just watching the video or something like that.
Yeah.
So to those people, guys, we greatly appreciate it. It means more than you know. And to the people that like send a tip or put a tip into the website, that stuff goes directly to Maddy for whatever she wants to spend that money on, kind of thing. Whether it's getting her nails did or like hair did, everything did, whatever.
Usually it gets invested back into what we're, like, somehow gets invested back into what we're doing, or gets put towards the fund for my wagon, the build that we're going to start working on.
Rex is up there just chill. Rex, he goes up, there's little hills and stuff like that, and he'll go sit up at the top of the mound just so he can watch the whole court that we're in right now.
I don't know if you can see it in the shot, but up the stairs here, he'll go and sit on the platform at the top of the stairs and just watch everybody working in the shop.
So he could supervise everyone. But, yeah. That's, that was 2 years into, that's year 2? Year 3?
What?
That we got Rex.
We've had Rex for 4 years, so in year 2 we got him.
Year 2. That'll maybe be in the next video. See you guys. Appreciate it. You'll cut it. I'm going to get some work done.